Have you ever thought about baking on your grill? Well, today I would like to share a wonderful and delicious recipe. I'm going to make some grilled orange buttermilk cakes right on my grill. I'm going to top them with a almond cream cheese frosting and garnish them with some grilled fruit. So let's go ahead, let's start baking on the grill. Now, when we select an orange, we're looking for one that is going to have a stable base. You see how this one kind of wobbles around? That's not going to be as good. So what we want to do is find one that is going to sit up straight, just like that. Next, we need to cut off the very top of this. Okay. I'm going to save this to make some orange zest out of later. And now we're also going to think ahead and consider our garnish. So I'm going to cut off a slice of my orange just like that. Now what I need to do is take a grapefruit spoon or a regular metal spoon, and I'm going to scoop out that center. And these are the orange shells that we are going to use to bake our cakes in. These oranges are going to do a few things. They're going to help flavor that cake. They're also going to keep the cake nice and moist and tender and protect them from the heat of the grill. To get our cake batter started, what we want to do is go ahead and combine all the dry ingredients. When we do this in a recipe, this helps to make sure everything is well combined and we don't have clumps of our salt and our baking powder. I have in this cup right here a cup and a half of all-purpose flour. I just added a teaspoon and a half of baking powder and a half a teaspoon of salt. We're just going to stir this together, and then we're going to go on to our wet ingredients. For our wet ingredients, we're going to start with a full stick of melted challenge butter. This is 8 tablespoons. I'm just going to pour that right into my mixer. Now I want to add my sugar. I'm going to add a cup of sugar. Then the next thing we want to do is add our eggs. Now we are going to be using 2 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk. We're doing that because this is going to be a very moist, dense cake. We don't need all those egg whites because we're not looking for a lot of fluff here. So we're just going to go ahead and add 1 at a time. We're going to keep down that, and we're going to wait until this mixture is a light lemon color and the eggs are well combined. Now that that's combined, we're going to go ahead and add a little flavor. We're going to add that orange zest that we created earlier with that top of the orange. We're just going to put that in there. A lot of people wonder why you use zest opposed to the juice. And you know what? That's where the flavor is. If you really want to taste the orange or taste lemon, use the zest. Now I'm also going to use some very fragrant ground ginger. I think ginger and orange is just amazing together. It's a nice summertime treat, I believe. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of get that mixed up a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now we want to go ahead and add our dry ingredients. Now we're going to do something a little different. We're going to add that flour, but we're also going to alternate with some buttermilk. The reason we're doing this, once again, is we don't want to overbeat this cake, but we do want to make sure everything is well combined. So by using this technique, we're assured to have a well-made batter that's going to be delicious, buttery, and moist. So here I go. I'm going to add a little bit of flour. Then I'm going to pour in a little bit of buttermilk. Then I add more flour, and I'm going to keep on going until I have a delicious batter. Okay, I think our batter is done. It smells really good. I can smell that orange and that ginger. So now it is time to go ahead and fill our oranges. Now remember, all oranges are not the same size. Some are going to be larger than the others. I call for 8 oranges in this recipe. I find that that typically works, but if your oranges are larger, you might need a little bit less. But I want to go ahead and fill these orange shells up halfway with the batter. We don't want to do too much because as they bake, they'll kind of explode and go over the top, but we don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Once all of these cakes are filled up, I'm going to simply take a piece of aluminum foil and I'll go ahead and place this on top. I'm going to cover these up, and then I am going to bring these over to my preheated 350-degree grill. I'm just going to place these right above the heat, close the top, and then we're just going to wait for 35 to 45 minutes until these cakes have rose up to the top. And if we take a toothpick and insert them, the toothpick is going to come out clean. So let's go ahead and let's put these on the grill. Now let's go ahead and talk about our garnish. We want to top our little orange cakes with a bunch of grilled fruit. Now, I started grilling grapes and strawberries a bit ago, and I'm going to tell you, it's been like a breakthrough. They are so delicious. When you grill the grapes and the strawberries, they kind of caramelize and they just get such a good flavor. I'm going to use them for cupcakes today, but I think they would be absolutely fantastic on a lovely summertime salad as well. So all I had to do is just skewer my fruit, and I brushed it with a little bit of some challenge butter. I have my orange slices ready to go, and I have my mint. So now all I have to do is just place those skewers of fruit on my grill for 2 to 3 minutes until we get those grill marks, and we're going to have a lovely garnish for our cupcakes. So now let's go ahead and get started on the icing on the cake. We are going to make an almond cream cheese frosting. Doesn't that sound good? I think that almond really goes nice with the oranges and that ginger, all those nice flavors. Now there's just going to be a few ingredients in this recipe. We're going to start off with a half a package, which is 4 ounces of cream cheese, challenge cream cheese, and we're going to use a half a stick of salted challenge butter. That is 4 tablespoons. I'm just going to add this into my mixer here because I want to cream these 2 components together. Okay, let's go ahead and get that going. Now, you know, when we're working with something that just requires a few ingredients, we want to make sure that the ingredients that we use are really outstanding. That's why I really like to use that challenge butter and the cream cheese. You know, challenge only uses sweet cream. I mean, right there, I think that whole name describes it. This is just going to be delicious. You know it when you use it. So I'm going to get this going. It's nice and creamy. I made sure it was nice and soft before I began. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some almond extract. Now, this is a little different than your typical recipe because most people use vanilla. I kind of like to do this. I'm just going to add about a half a teaspoon. And then I'm going to start adding my powdered sugar. I am going to beat this frosting together until it's light and creamy. It's going to be the perfect topping for our orange cakes. Our orange cakes came off of the grill. They are baked to perfection and they smell amazing. But isn't that cute? All of that cake baked right into that orange shell. So now let's go ahead and finish these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place my cake on a little serving plate. Then all I have to do is get a nice big scoop of that almond cream cheese frosting. I'm just going to place this on top like so. And I'm just going to spread it around and create like a really pretty little swirl. I think that looks nice. Okay, next step, we're going to add those beautiful grilled garnishes that we made earlier. I like to start with my orange and kind of place it in the back to give this cake a little bit of height. Then I like to take my grilled strawberry and I'm going to place that right there. And then we have our grilled grapes. I'm going to add them as well. And then for a little pop of freshness and color, I'm going to add some of this fresh mint. Now I'm going to use mint today, but you know what? Basil would also be absolutely delicious as well. So here we go. We have our beautiful completed orange cake.